The hardest thing is not running a marathon. It's just getting up and starting. They're shouting your name and they're giving you sweets. They're basically treating you like you're Beyonce. Let me tell you, the more messed up you are, the better you're going to be at running.
I'm going to have the macaroni cheese.
Yeah. Every week, it was like, look at how amazing your body is.
You were saying that you manifest and
I fantasize. It's not like about like Hollywood celebrities I'd like to have with.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 already. We have now 12 weeks to go. If you're watching or listening to this in sync with your training program, 12, say it out loud, 12, it's okay. Hit subscribe, give us a follow, get in touch with us by leaving a message in the comments. That would be amazing. You've been so awesome getting in touch and leaving us your advice and tips and thoughts and niggles. Keep that coming because we love that very much. Joining us for this episode is the incredible Bryony Gordon, good friend, amazing human author, any number of best-selling books, including Eat, Drink, Run, and the host of Life of Bryony, the podcast. Brilliant. In 2016, she famously took up running and she says it literally saved her life. She also runs in her pants. Yes, and her underwear with these big pants with Bryony emblazoned across the bottom. It's fabulous. This week, though, first, I don't know about you and where you are. I've got another race. So we did the 5K Santa run. When my Santa trousers dropped all the way down, we shed the uniform, we shed the outfit and the costume as we were running. But we got a medal. We got a medal for the 5K Santa run. And next one is the 10K at Crystal Palace. It is my first chipped run. I've got it under good authority that it's very hilly, and it's one of the reasons why we chose it, actually, because it's nearby. Everyone says it's really good fun, but it is very hilly. So I've been advised to just be completely fine with jeffing. We haven't spoken about this with any of our guests at the moment, but jeffing, as I understand it now, is when you, and where does the effing bit come? It's a bit of jogging and a bit of walking and a bit of jogging and a bit of walking. I don't know where the effing bit comes in. Am I being silly? It's called jeffing anyway. So I expect to be doing a lot of that at the weekend. If you are going to be running there as well, yeah, you can push me up those hills if you've got any energy as well. Also, we continue to use the brilliant Chris Evans book, 119 Days to Go. This week in the book has been Cold Shower Week. There's been lots of screeching from the bathroom. I don't know about you. I quite enjoy a cold shower, actually. In fact, I quite enjoy cold water. Don't worry, I haven't got one of those ice baths at home. We do like swimming outside in a lake near where I live in the summer. Below 14 degrees, no thank you. But I do quite like 30 seconds of a cold shower at the end of a hot shower. And I find, anyway, it really sort of like electrifies your spine. It really wakes you up and on your head and stuff like that. And I think sometimes in these dark January months, you need it. You need all the little tips and all the little advice and help that you can get. And that's really working for me. Also, if you are in a relationship and have another half, I also find that it's really good fun once you've had your cold shower is to turn the cold shower, to stop it, and then to turn it down even colder so they think you've gone colder than you actually have. And then when they get in the shower, they get it really cold. And that's how my mind works. Okay, so in this episode of I Can Run a Marathon with the British Heart Foundation, our guest today is Bryony Gordon. Oh my goodness me. It is such a joy to have her with me.
Oh, it's so
I
nice.
I wrote this myself, and it took time, and I was trying to put all the lovely, no, get off, you're not having it. Go on then, you read it. You read your introduction.
A friend of mine was talking the other day.
Yeah.
This is the lovely Donna Ashworth.
Love Donna
how
Ashworth.
She went to an event and they read out an intro that they'd got from Wikipedia.
Oh,
but
God, no.
There was some criticism, like someone had written something like, and she is the worst poet in... And they were reading and they went, and she is the worst.
That's extraordinary. Bryony Gordon, please introduce yourself.
I'm an award-winning journalist, author, podcaster. That's what I'm reading out. Tireless mental health campaigner and a tired mental health campaigner and founder of peer support group Mental Health Mates. My courageous openness and honesty about my years in addiction are a beacon of possibility and a constant reminder that whilst the work is never finished, a life worth living, and indeed one of joy and fun and friends and success and running marathons in your pants, is not beyond any of us. She's a spectacular human. I give up.
Casey,
I can't say she's a spectacular. I'm a spectacular human, everyone.
She is a
That's all you need
spectacular
to-
human.
I would like to say that everyone, if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to this because you're probably training for a marathon,
Yeah.
or you're just trying to get into running. You're a spectacular human for just getting up and out and putting on your podcast.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is what I don't think you appreciate sometimes is you were one of the first people to ever say that out loud to all of us, and all of us got to listen to you saying that. You see,
Whatever.
well, that we can all do it, and you know that it is not an exclusive space. It is
not if I'm in it.
It is not an exclusive space for elite runners. It's for everybody.
No, the elite runners, I always say, Emma, is that the real elites are the likes of me. I don't know how quickly, or should I say slowly, you run.
Yeah, slowly.
But I genuinely, I say that it's not the people who are like the Kipchogis who are, you know, they've got their feet up after 2 hours and they're having a pizza. It's those of us who are like at the back of the pack and who it's taking like 6 hours to run a marathon.
How many have you run so far? I've
only run 3.
Is it 10 years or so since you started
Yeah.
running at all?
Yeah, it was 10 years ago this year.
All right. So in 10 years, you've run 3 marathons.
Yeah.
God knows how many other races.
I've trained for about 15.
You trained for about 37.
And I've not made it to the start line for various reasons. Some of them had nothing to do with me, like COVID.
which was the spanner in the works for everybody. But that first marathon, were you already running a little bit by the time the opportunity presented itself to you?
So I'd done a bit of running in my time, but not, you know, nothing serious. It was, and I definitely had, you know, as someone with a history of mental illness, I had definitely had periods where it had helped me get out of, it helped me stay alive. The first time I really committed to running was, I just had my daughter. I had a terrible, terrible bout of obsessive compulsive disorder, which is something I have dealt with since I was a child. And it was like, I remember this day just looking in the mirror, and my way of coping with it throughout life have been alcohol and drugs, you know, which I can exclusively reveal now are not helpful.
Does it not work?
No, but, you know, until recently, you know, there weren't really other options. And so anyway, I stood there in the mirror and I was like, I need to do something to get out of my head, just to get out of my head that isn't drinking or drugging. And I remember I like picked up my Converse, leopard print Converse.
What? Oh,
yeah.
I love
they
you
had
for
like
that.
a hole in the back of them, one of the heels. And then I put on like a pair of tracksuit bottoms and then like 2 bras because I've got large breasts, a larger body generally. And I like picked up like a Star Wars t-shirt. And then I was like, oh, if I'm going to go running, I'm gonna need water, because otherwise I'm gonna die. But this was bear in mind, so this was like 2015, I would say, and this was before everyone had cupboards full of water bottles. So all I had was like my daughter's Tommy Tippy sippy cup. Like,
what? Hang on, with the little beaker type top.
Yeah.
Did you take one of those?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man,
and I looked like a woman
amazing.
on day release, and I was essentially from my own head. But for that, and you know, I ran round the block, you know, a couple of times, and I know I stopped, but for that 20 minutes, I just had to focus on staying alive and my breathing. And so for that 20 minutes, I got out of my head and into my body, you know, and that was kind of. It was just, well, for 20 minutes of the day, I'm not going to be having intrusive thoughts about that I'm the worst person in the world. So that was how I started. And then I wrote a lot about my obsessive compulsive disorder and my mental health. And I wrote a book called Mad Girl, which came out 10 years ago, and it did very well. And I got invited off the back of it to the launch of Heads Together, which was this mental health campaign launched by Prince Harry, Prince William, and Catherine, the now Princess of Wales, and and I was there, and I got introduced to the Princess of Wales, then Duchess of Cambridge, and she was like, "Oh, Heads Together is going to be the official charity of the London Marathon 2017," and I was like, "Oh, you're going to run it?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, I can't, because it's very difficult to secure 26.2 miles." And I was like, yeah. I was like trying to be funny, and I was like, yeah, if I can run a marathon, you can. And I don't know why I said that.
But at this point, had you run a marathon? No. You said if anyone.
I'd like eaten a marathon, and that was about it. And the guy from Heads Together was like, "Oh, you're going to run the marathon for Heads Together?" And she said, and bear in mind, she's going to be queen one day.
Yeah, so
she said, "Are you going to run?" And I'm a people pleaser. And she said, "Are you going to run the marathon for Heads Together?" And I was like, "I guess I'm going to run the marathon for Heads Together." And I remember going home and being like, "Oh, I've been given a marathon place." And my husband was like, "Do you know how long a marathon is?"
You were saying this out loud as the words came out of your mouth.
Did you feel like a good idea? Yeah. And also because I was like, well, at the time I was, I'm a journalist by trade. I was like, well, it's a good way to spend some time with the royals, because they're not going to willingly spend any time with me otherwise, are they?
It's content and it'll be read.
And I was like, and because I was writing so much about my mental health, I thought it'll probably be good for my mental health, so I can chart that, and, the running journey, a bit like now what you're doing now.
It's much the same.
I was like, okay, well, it makes as much sense as anything in my life does right now, because I was, I was still drinking and using at the time, but obviously all very kind of, I hadn't accepted that I was an alcoholic or an addict. I was kind of in denial. I was, like a great deal of alcoholics and addicts are. And so I signed up, and it was genuinely life-changing.
So this is that phrase is consistent with everybody that we speak to who's run a marathon, and I obviously believe them, and I believe you about it being life-changing. Can you boil that down into what that really means? Okay, so for me it was so I was given some structure. Yeah, I was told you have to do this thing, and for anyone listening, if you, and I don't know if this resonates with you as well, but like, if you have quite a neurospicy brain, like I kind of need to be told what to do, but also not. Like, it's the fine line between it, yeah. But in a nice way, you need to be told what to do in a nice way. So I had this structure and I followed it. And where was your structure? Where did you just Google something? Did somebody give you?
I just used the beginner's plan on the London Marathon website.
Yes, yeah, like Cooper and all those places.
No, they didn't
exist.
They didn't exist, and I didn't and I consistently have only ever used the beginner's plan. I'm not upgrading. I've done quite a few marathons now, and I've always done it.
You
off
go
the
back
beginners.
to that's amazing.
Well, no, because I'm not in it to do it to get faster or be like, I'm going to go sub whatever. Like, no, I'm going to do it because of the way it makes me feel. Yeah. Right? And that's not the way it makes me look, not any of that shit. It's like, for me, running is about, it makes me feel good. Right? So, and before, exercise had always been about punishing myself.
Did you run as a kid? Were you in sports teams at school?
No, I was in netball, and I was like, I'll be goal shoot,
so I don't have to. I can stay here and defend,
and then I'll take the glory. That was about the level of my. No, I was not a sporty kid.
Those kind of relationships with sport as well, and I don't know about you, but like for there were two ways that sport were presented to me in my life. One of them was at school, which was competitive, team-based, and I didn't win anything. I'd never won anything. I hated sports day. I hated athletics, and I did a bit of netball, but that was it because I was forced to. I was a dancer. I was dancing, being precocious dancing person. So for me immediately,
I wasn't even doing that.
But it's either team-based or competitive. No one's.
Well, also, no, but the other thing that exercise was about, my modelling of exercise growing up, was that it was done by my mum and her friends as a way to stay thin.
You can remember that?
Yes. They weren't interested. It was like Jane Fonda, go for the burn.
Go for the burn, make it hurt, feel the pain.
Yeah. So exercise for me had always, if it has existed in my life, it was humiliating, and it was about punishment. So it was about making my waist smaller. Yeah. Or it was being picked last.
Being picked last. Yes, exactly.
And so I didn't love it. I was like, so no, it wasn't at all. And it wasn't something I had a healthy relationship with, put it that way.
Not, yeah.
And so for the first time, it was like, oh, I'm sort of starting to see the point of this thing they call exercise. So I just picked up the beginner's London Marathon plan, and I just followed it as best as I could. And lots of people said to me, you know, like, you've got to make it work for you, otherwise this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to do your long run on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? You can do it on Monday. You can do it in the middle of the night, whatever. You know, and some weeks you might not be able to do the long run. You know, just as long as you do most of them, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I remember them saying, you know, if you can run 10K in the first week or whatever, or second week of training, you know, you'll be fine. And I was like, but the thought of running 10K was like, what the hell? And the magic of marathon training was that when I ran my first 10K, I was like, oh my God. And I've got to do that another
four times.
Yeah. And 3 times. Another 3 times.
3 times?
Another
You're trying to make it sound better for me.
You've already done one. So and I was like, what? And then on the actual day, I remember standing there going, okay, cool. So I've run 32 kilometers.
Oh
so,
my God.
Like, that was what I'd done, you know, got done in training. And I was like, and that was okay. You did that. And all you've got to do is another 10K on top of that.
Oh, it's just another.
But that was the magic of, like, the plasticity of your brain and how it can change, and what that marathon training did. And what it did was, every week it was like, look at how amazing your body is, right?
Yeah.
Just as it is, look what it's managed to do. And every week you can do a little bit more than you thought you could the week before. And that was like, whoa!
It's a big deal.
I remember running from my house to Tower Bridge, and it was like 11 miles. And I kind of wanted to stop everyone when we got to Tower Bridge and be like, I have run from, like, southwest London.
I need to tell you.
Yeah, I was like, 'cause you don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And so it was that. It was like, wow. And then, so there's just so many different levels to it. And it was all about really doing the thing I thought I couldn't, and just disproving my head. And every morning waking up, and it still is this, you know, every morning, Emma, I wake up and my brain is on me. It's like, good morning, Bryony. But actually, it's going to be a bad morning. It's going to be a terrible day because you're awful and everyone hates you. And everything that you've got planned, you should not do because everyone hates you. So stay here under this duvet. That is where you're safest. So that's what my brain says to me every morning. And I'm like, oh God, not this again. And then I have to work. And it doesn't matter how much work I've done the day before.
Right.
How spiritual I'm feeling when I go to bed at 10 o'clock, 9:30. 9 o'clock, 8:30, whatever.
10:30? Are you mad?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I wake up, I'm like the reverse of a charged phone. I'm like, everything has gone overnight, right? So I have to immediately disprove my brain and get up and go out. And the easiest way to do that for me is to go for a run. And every morning I don't want to go for a run. I never want to go for a run, but I never regret going for one.
No, this podcast is about people who, you know, and for people who are entry level. You know, this is not a podcast about times and sub 3 hours and stuff like that. We learn a lot from those people, and we're very gracious for their
they can and go and chat to each other on another podcast.
Goodbye.
And there's a lot of those podcasts.
Well, here we go, because that's the other thing as well, you know, and for you to say that you are still using that beginner's guide is really important, and I think that's fantastic. Is that you kind of go, no, that provided me what I needed to do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And that actually in this sphere as well, when you start running, and you know you're taking on something like this, like any, and especially I think in the Women's Health Forum, there is endless advice and endless places to go that will tell you how to do this, and you know, and most of which is fairly useful, you know, supplements and running shoes and gear and what you need to wear and when you need to do it, and I found that really overwhelming, actually. I found that really, really difficult to kind of sift through what is genuinely useful.
What is the hardest thing? You know, here's the thing, right? The hardest thing is not running a marathon, right? It's not running a marathon. It's not running a half marathon. It's just getting up and fucking starting.
Yeah.
That is the hardest bit. And once you've got that out of the way, you're cool, right? You can then start doing the stuff. But when you start getting a bit, also our brains are quite good, or my brain is quite good at self-sabotage. So I will look for reasons not to do something. I'm like, oh, but I don't have the shoes. Oh, I don't have, I need to.
I might get injured. I'm going to my knee's a bit twingy and it looks like rain and 1,000 things.
And I'm not, and I'm not the right, and I'm too big or I'm too this and
I'm too old.
I'm too messed up. I'm too old. Let me tell you, the more messed up you are, the better you're going to be at running.
Okay, so in that case, then that those imperfections, those deep rooted imperfections that we all have, is that where you go in your head when you are at mile God knows what, and it's getting really tough, and you're aching all over, and your brain's gone back to square one, and I can't do this. Where are the places that you go, or is there as much as you want to tell me?
I remember my first marathon getting to mile 21 and thinking, is there ever going to be a time I'm not running this marathon?
When will it stop?
And then I was like, shut up, Bryony. Shut up. People are cheering, they're shouting your name and they're giving you sweets. They're basically treating you like you're Beyonce. I'd been through dark moments and I was like, this is the party. So I do think the more hard things you've done in your life and the more hard experiences you have, the easier things like marathons become. And there is a reason, I think, that I'm in recovery now and I'm sober and we hear, I have so many friends who, you go from, you put down drinking and you pick up running. And people often say to me, oh, do you think you just swapped
one addiction for another?
I'm like, listen, running has never wound me up in a crack den in South London. Never.
Ever.
Yeah. So what I get out of running, I did once have a stress fracture and that was bad. But let me tell you some of the things that I did because of drinking. We don't have time. And so, but I do think it's, I guess for me, it's a way as well to really what I get out of running is it regulates my nervous system.
Yeah, of course. And that is, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that's about breathing and pacing and, just getting into a pattern. They're patterns, aren't they? Repeatable patterns.
The interesting thing I find is that the longer I'm going, the easier I find it. So the first 20 minutes I hate.
Every single time. Does that get any easier?
No.
I can't it's about 3 kilometers I'm working out.
Yeah.
And it's horrific every single time.
Yeah, it really is. And all that is actually is it's physiology, isn't it? It's your body cottons on to the fact it takes some time to cotton on that it's into this thing, and then it starts to produce endorphins and natural painkillers, so then it becomes easier.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, and I don't know if you're that, but I have had a history of eating disorders, right? And running, actually, some people go, oh, you need to be careful. You don't use it in a kind of addictive way, or, running has actually really kind of, without getting too kind of healed my relationship with food in many ways, because you can, but I do not like running without being properly fueled.
Yeah.
I really feel it. It really is much more painful. So I have to fuel, and when I get back, the decisions I make about food are they're about nourishing my body, not punishing it.
That makes me feel quite emotional because I do, in the decades of being obsessed with, I'll go on a diet here and I'll do a bit there, and standing in the kitchen trying to cook for 2 kids when all you're thinking about was I can't eat what the kids are eating because I'm trying to calorie control something or whatever. And the the freedom that I'm feeling at the moment by kind of going, I'm going to have the macaroni cheese with everybody else because I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. It's just gorgeous.
I mean, that's part of the joy of it. Is like the weekend,
yeah.
you're like, oh, great. So, I don't want to, like, you can have these things whenever you want, but it's like, I like, there's a ritual around it. If your long run's on the Sunday, it's like, oh, Saturday night, what delicious pasta am I gonna make?
Yes.
Or what are we gonna, where are we gonna go for pizza? Or where?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I used to run from, like, I was talking about this actually yesterday with someone, my lovely friend, the late great Dame Deborah James.
Oh, Deborah James, yeah.
We used to run from the Gales next to my house.
Oh, I love this.
To the Gales near her house.
Amazing.
And they were about 10 kilometres apart, about 6 miles between them. And, it was like we run from baked good to baked good. That is often like what I'll do is...
Really?
I'll book a table for a Sunday roast, like on the other side. Like my dad lives on the other side of London.
I love this, Bryony.
And I'll book a table at, like, near where he lives.
Okay.
Like the best Sunday roast place.
This is such a cracking idea.
I will basically run and meet him there, and then meet my husband and my daughter, who will, like, get the bus there or whatever, or the tube, and they'll bring my coat, and some deodorant, so I'm not like so hanging. But it's like, and it's just like, oh, I love it. Like you're buzzing, and then you're just like this lush, massive.
Mate, there's a map, there's a book, there's a map in that of running routes via baked goods and dinners.
Really good food. And then you're like, also, I just like that, I have to, if I'm running a long way, you have to fuel properly.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your fuel of choice? Do you take gels?
Well, if you're running long,
you take the gels? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did do one marathon with a friend called Jada Cesar, who is a plus size model, and she's fantastic. And she hated gels, so she just had flapjacks.
Okay. That's fair enough.
And I do, so, but no, I'm fine with gels. I like my gels. They're kind of basically like, I get like the blocks, the ones that are basically just they're basically Haribo.
Okay, yeah. I had my first one at the weekend because I did my first 10K at the weekend.
Well done.
I looked like a beetroot. But when it's really funny, because you were saying that you want to tell everybody, I was just like, I was trying to do some social media, and I was in the middle of the road, and I definitely wanted everybody to know about it. I was like, not waiting for people to go past so that I could start filming. I was like, oh, sorry, no, go past. I'm just filming because I've just done my first 10K. Don't worry about it. Go on, like this. It was ridiculous.
It's that great joke, isn't it? Like, how do you know someone's doing a marathon?
They'll tell you.
Yeah. But that's like, of course, because it's an epic achievement. And I think nowadays, with so many, there are just, the world is, people are like push themselves to longer and further challenges and ultras and all of that, and we kind of have lost sight of the fact that a marathon is an unbelievable achievement.
We were talking about where your brain goes when you're running, and whether you have lots of thoughts. Some people have loads and loads and loads of ideas when they're running. You were saying that you manifest and
fantasize.
You fantasize. Yeah. What? And when you say that, because I'm
like about like Hollywood celebrities I'd like to have sex with.
Because I was like, next time I see your face on a long run, I'm like, whoa, she's there.
Okay, so basically, what I fantasize about is I put on my favourite songs, and I fantasize about getting to like musicals. I fantasize about being on Strictly Come Dancing. That's basically what I fantasize about. This morning, I had the whole 5K, and bear in mind, I run basically every day. So every day it's the same fantasy. It never gets old. It will only get old if I manage to manifest the fantasy and actually go on
this is
Strictly
it. It's
Come
happening
Dancing.
now. Yeah.
And I'm not well known enough, I don't think. So the
Who's your partner? What are you dancing?
I think it's
Veto. You're a veto.
Do you think? Oh, I don't know. I'll have anyone. I'll take anyone, frankly. this morning and I'm often, sometimes it's like I've got to musicals week and I'm dancing to Hamilton.
Oh, baby girl, I can so see you dancing to Hamilton.
And like Craig is unwell that week, so Lin-Manuel Miranda has to be shipped in as a guest judge. And in the fantasy, like it all just goes into play, you know.
And in this fantasy, because we do have to talk about this before I let you go. In this fantasy,
don't let me go. I just want to tell you specifically about the Taylor Swift fantasy.
Oh, well, hang on. Listen, you with your bestie.
I danced to Taylor Swift, and then I get to the final, and they're like, "We have never seen someone who just was so bad at dancing at the beginning." They're like, you shouldn't win this competition, but we just love your pluck. We like that you've tried. And that's why the nation keeps me in, because they're like, she's at this, but she's trying.
We love her pluck. That's the T-shirt. I love her pluck. Yeah. And then because you're now best friends with Taylor Swift because you got a Christmas card from her. Does she make a personal appearance to hand you the trophy?
I don't know. I just think that as good friends as Tay-Tay and I are, never met her. Ended up on her Christmas PR list.
That's it. You are one step to Tay-Tay bestie.
I do write an extraordinary amount of wonderful things about Taylor Swift in my column. But she does do a video. She's got to do a video. They get her to do a video.
She couldn't be with us today, but Bryony.
Prince Harry did one for what's his name, JJ.
So it's possible.
Yeah. But if Taylor isn't available, probably Prince Harry would do one for me.
We can work that out.
I've got his number. I'll ask him.
Bryony, you're a legend, and I love you very much for coming in and chatting to us.
I'm so excited to follow your journey and see the joy that you get out of it, and I hope to I will either be running and looking forward to seeing you, or I will be on the sidelines cheering you on.
Well, that will be amazing. I'm having a really great time, and it means I get to see you. So hey, job done. Bryony Gordon. She's remarkable, isn't she? Just an incredible human. Thank you very much to Bryony Gordon. We would love to hear from you. What did you think of that chat? What are your running wins, your wobbles? What's doing your head in this week about the training program? Please do let me know. Questions as well. We have some amazing questions that are coming in. You can leave a comment on here, or you can WhatsApp us on +44 333 00 333 00. Sally, hey Sally. Sally says, hi Emma, really enjoying the podcast. Thank you very much. I'm training for my first marathon in my late 40s. I've only just started, and I keep worrying that starting this so late, in inverted commas, so late, means I'll really struggle. Any words of encouragement? I'm 55, and I know about that nervousness. Especially if you didn't do it as when you were a kid, because not only are you a little bit older, but it's not something that you're familiar with, and so I understand there's a lot of fear associated with doing that. The headline loud and clear from everybody that we're speaking to is just start slowly. I also went and got a little checkup at the GPs as well, which sometimes is reassuring that, so your blood pressure, pulse, you might get some bloods taken if they want to just check that your hormones are in the right place. It's always a good thing to check in with your GP. But you're going to be fine. And, if Prue Leith can get a job presenting Celebrity Bake Off at 76 and do it for a decade, we can do a bit of running in our late 40s and early 50s. Just have to start slow. You'll be fine, Sally. Coming up on the podcast, I'm going to be joined by the amazing Ailish McColgan and Chris Evans, our very own Chris Evans as well. So many amazing guests to speak to. And if you missed our conversation with Nell McAndrew and with Helen Thorne, who kicked this off for us, they are on the Virgin Radio YouTube channel. You can watch them now. And I will catch you on Virgin Radio weekday mornings from 10 o'clock and next Thursday on I Can Run a Marathon.